This video is sponsored by Card Kingdom. To pre-order Aetherdrift, use my link in the description. Okay. Well, Mimeoplasm is cool, but being 3 colors and taking a ton of setup keeps me from really wanting to take it. Like, even in an early access video, just because like I could try to force it, but I don't think it would. The ceiling just wouldn't be very high. Although it's not like this pack is anything insane. I mean, Pride of the Road's good. Fang Druid Summoner's good when you get the right stuff to build around it. This is a 2-drop I really like. Web Strike Elite is good and is probably the pick. I mean, being a Disenchant or a really good 2-drop is good. You do need to be really fairly green to play it, but you know, it is a removal spell that's useful pretty much all game long. I think it's probably what we take over the 3-color thing. If it was a more exciting 3-color thing, I might have been in on it. Okay. I am curious about speed. Green-white's not exactly a speed deck, but a card that starts speed on 1 and gives you 2 bodies is just really good. So I think I like Nesting Bot a lot here. Plow Through's okay, but not that good. Pothole Mole for in black-green is especially good. It's okay anywhere. Dynamite Diver's not bad, but I think Nesting Bot is probably just the best card in this pack. I mean, I like Buccaneer. There's like solid commons here, but this is a very strong one just because 1 mana 1/1 leaves a 1/1 behind is good anyway, and it has some format-specific nonsense going on. Put Lorna. I know there are going to be people who, use that small sample size to tell me Lorna's not bad, but you can see how bad she was early in that game. Like, she didn't do anything, really. I mean, she was preventing, like, a couple of damage, and that ended up mattering, like, in the extreme game we ended up in, but the number of times where you end up in that, like, if we'd had just slightly faster of a curve, it would have been, like, a whole other world. Okay. So Grimbauble and Lightning Strike are both great. It's a little unfortunate that we don't have any cards in their colors right now, but these are both excellent. Molt Tender's good, but I don't think it's as good as either of these. The Bauble just has like artifact synergy on top of being good removal. Lightning Strike is Lightning Strike, of course. Tune-Up is interesting. So is the Slick Imitator. I think they both might be a little too finicky to be great and limited. So we're looking at Lightning Strike or Bauble. The Bauble definitely has more format-specific synergy, but I think Lightning Strike has the higher ceiling, although the speed thing comes up, so yeah, we'll take Lightning Strike. Works if we end up in like a red-white speed deck, you know, Lightning Strike will be good, and if we end up in red-green, obviously, it's pretty good too. Seen a few good graveyard cards. Dredger's Insight is good, as is the, what did we pass? The Bauble can do some graveyard stuff. There's a few good red cards here. Like, I like the Goda. We've got a nice land, but there's also Gallant Strike and Collision Course. I like Gallant Strike a fair bit. Like, you'll have targets often enough, and when you don't, you can just cycle it. So, yeah. I think we take Gallant Strike here. Burner Rocket is interesting. Like, I think it's probably going to end up overperforming just because it does so much for its cost. It's a lot like in the set review, I compared it to the 2-mana 3/1 Dwarf with an Adventure, because that's kind of how it plays out. Quick Welder, enhancements. They're okay, but I think we'd probably take Burner Rocket. We could consider taking a land. In our last draft, it would have been nice to take some more fixing early, but I think we'll take Burner Rocket. Ooh, here's the Spike Spitter. Yeah, definitely taking it. It's just such a good speed win condition. Do like Dynamite Diver. Wouldn't mind that, but we're going to take the Spike Spitter here. Feels like red-white is more open than green, but we've seen okay green cards, so it's not like there's nothing there in green. Well, in this pack, there's nothing there in green. I like Broadside Barrage a lot. It's a potential splash, I guess, but if we're really an aggro deck, we probably don't want it. The Mustang's okay. Kickoff Celebration's probably better in a discard deck, but it's also okay. Taking one of these. I guess the creature is probably a little better given what our deck is looking like right now. It's not a creature I love, but... Alright, I think the Artillerist is okay. It's probably better in a discard deck, but it's not bad when you're trying to get max speed either. It can cycle and raise your speed, so... Kind of looks like Web Strike Elite's not happening. Hey, look, we made it all the way back. So nobody else who's making content was even like, yeah, let's make a deck with this. So I guess I'll take the Surveyor, because there's not a 0% chance we end up back in green, and it's fine. Yeah. So if you have good sack fodder, like the Bauble, that card's really good. The Compactor might make the cut. It's like a bad removal spell, but sometimes you need those. I think it's probably what we take over, like... I like the Buccaneer the most out of these cards, but it doesn't feel like we're playing blue. We might. Who knows? See if we can get a Compactor here anyway. Another good blue card. I think we go ahead and take it. Alright, I don't hate Thunderhead Gunner. But I kind of feel like taking a gain land is a little better. Okay, we got 2 potentially useful gain lands late in that pack. I don't hate that. Yeah, so far it's true. We haven't seen a whole lot of max speed being a super relevant factor. I've made some decisions based on it, but now you're going to give me an Agonasaur Rex. Well, our white's not that good. Unfortunately, I mean, I could splash the Rex for its combat trick, but I don't think that's what you want to be doing. Our white really isn't that good. I mean, I do like some of what we have going on in white. Like, the turn 1 Nesting Bot, I think, is a powerful play in this format, but this is like an insane trick and an insane creature. So I think it's what we take. Not giving up a whole lot in red or white here, so... And it's not like we don't already have other good green cards, so... So, like, going into red-green instead is definitely fine. This is something we could splash, although less so if we're not playing white, because we're not going to be playing Scoured Barrens. But yeah, I think... I mean, I could splash Gallant Strike. It has cycling, so that's actually probably what we're supposed to do. Yeah. So we're not going to be that good at discarding, so we're probably not like the build-around Marauding Mako style deck. I could just take Venom Sac Lagak. Could take the Beetle just because of the upside. You know, it's strong enough, and it's not impossible I get the fixing for it. So I think we probably take it. Okay, well, here's a Boom Scholar. Did we go red-green back-to-back in the end without really trying to? I think we did. So I think we take the Boom Scholar. Right now, we're not doing that much with Exhaust, but we're going to do some stuff with it, most likely. And I think it's better than the Surveyor. The Lynx is nice, you know, if we stayed white, but I think the Rex is good enough that we were supposed to make the jump. On top of having Web Strike Elite and stuff going on. Okay. Another Surveyor doesn't sound bad. Walking Sarcophagus. If we were still really into speed, maybe. Somebody is going to be happy in the cycling deck because they're going to maybe get both Skyray and the other one. Well, our choices aren't looking amazing right now, are they? In terms of like what we did, the decisions we made. We'll take a Jaguar here. Jumping into these colors hasn't felt great. Venom Sac Lagak is fine. We're not that good with blockbusters, so I think we go Lagak. Dismal Backwater. Another Burner Rocket. Crash and Burn. Things are looking a little better now. These are both very playable red cards. How am I doing on interaction? Not great. So maybe I have to take Crash and Burn here. Yeah. Thornwood Falls doesn't help here. We will take a Pothole Mole. I think I like it more than Kickoff Celebrations. We do have two Surveyors, which are pretty good with Pothole Mole. I need a little bit of fixing to play the Debris Beetle. Yeah, I don't love Pedal to the Metal, but cutting red entirely is a good signal to send, and it's not like unplayable. I just hope I don't play it. Do I just want another Venom Sack-Lagac? I mean, they've performed pretty well. I mean, we've literally played one draft, but we saw it. We played it a bunch of times. Our opponents played it a bunch of times, and it looked pretty solid. I mean, I think I like it more than the Gunner in a deck that isn't doing any discard stuff, really. So right now, I don't think we have any exhaust. Our last deck was very exhaust heavy. This one, not so much. These two being here, probably a pretty good sign. Blue is very open. Because they're both really good commons. I think Nimblethopterus might be Blue's best common. We do have a few random good blue cards. Well, yeah, Blue's open. We will take a Gunner now. Those are both very good blue cards, too. I don't think it's way too late in the draft for us to like take that as a signal and alter what we're doing, but... Well, we do have another Web Strike Elite. Don't hate it. I do like Stampeding Scurryfoot. Saw it perform well in our first draft. Celebrations is okay. Plow 3 is okay, but I think we take another Elite. I think in an ideal world, we'd probably get a few more gain lands. Preferably like black-green ones would be great, because they make it easier to cast Elites onto and to use their cycling ability, and I could splash Debris Beetle, but Count on Luck is just too hard to cast, I think. We're going to take the Mammoth here. It's very strong, as we saw in our last draft, and I gave it a B+ in the set review, which is very high for an uncommon. Ketrodon's pretty good, but I do think the Mammoth is just better. The one thing this has going for it is reach while in cycling. It has a few things going for it, but generally 5/5 and 3/3 is better than 6/6 reach in this mana slot. Plus it can make more 3/3s. So, yeah. It doesn't look great for Debris Beetle right now. Ooh, Rocketeer Boost Buggy. Oh, why is there a Lightning Strike too? What are you doing to me? There's a chance this wheels. I mean, not a great one, because I think it's really good, but I think we got to take Lightning Strike. Our deck's not that into exhausting. Like, if it were better at it, I think I would lean into the Buggy, but we're not that good at it right now. We have, like, only a few cards that pay us off for doing it. Here's a sweet 2-drop, for sure. So we're kind of set on high picks, although I guess I'd rather have a Ketrodon than a Jaguar. I could consider running Dynamite Diver. Maybe Ketrodon is enough better than the Jaguar that I just go for it. It's another good card for stabilizing. Yeah, we'll go Ketrodon. Probably don't play the Jaguar now. Okay. That land helps us a little bit. It helps. We can play Gallant Strike off of Blossoming Sands. And we'll cycle it the rest of the time. It's kind of what I'm thinking. The Ironclad isn't bad, but if we're not a vehicle deck, I mean, I kind of like the idea of taking Blossoming Sands, just so sometimes Gallant Strike is online. Okay, well, there's a lot of things here I want. Lightning Strike, another Rugged Highlands, the bike, and Molt Tender are all things I'm kind of into. I feel like the Strike is probably the pick. I mean, it's just hard to say no to. This can ramp our mana. This can ramp our mana. They can both fix our mana to an extent too. Well, they can fix it, but these are just great removal spells. So it's just like, what am I supposed to do? You know, I think we just take it. Spike Shell Harrier is real good to still be here. I think blue's probably the most open color in this draft. This, I think, is too bad to rely on for fixing, so probably not playing Debris Beetle. So I think we probably take an Ironclad here over another Gunner. Sita Varma made it back. Don't think we're going to be able to play her, but we're not playing any of this other stuff either. So, so we'll take the rare. Swiftwater Cliffs makes it not impossible. I don't think we want Ticket Tortoise in this deck. I think we'll take Swiftwater Cliffs and see what happens. Ooh, it did wheel. Nice. I knew there was a chance, being a gold card. I didn't really think it was going to happen, though. So this does give us a little bit more fixing. Probably not enough to make things work in terms of Debris Beetle, but we get a free Radiant Lotus, too. Everyone knows it's bad. Okay, so I think I like this deck. I mean, we've got a pretty sweet late game with some big boys and pretty good early game stuff. Like, this deck is way more balanced than our first one was, where we had a bunch of nonsense that didn't really... Like, we didn't have removal, mainly, was the thing. We're not running any planes. We'll just cycle Gallant Strike when we don't have white from our Boost Buggy or our Blossoming Sands. And we don't need Swiftwater Cliffs because that's not enough to play Sita Varma. So, yeah. Dynamite Diver is not great in our deck. Mostly because we've only got one vehicle. But it's still a 1-mana 1/1 that pings. I don't know that we have anything that's that much better that we can reliably cast. Like, we don't need another big creature up here. We've got better cards like Sita Varma and Debris Beetle, but we're not going to be able to reliably cast them. I think it probably stays in. I guess it can crew the Lagak. I kind of forgot about that. Or, you know, saddle. So that gives us 8 red sources. I mean, I don't think we can get away with a crazy low curve, even though these are sort of low drops, like they can be. I'm just thinking we probably want more green to have all our double green cards online consistently. Like, Lightning Strike is probably our best, and the Spike Spitter, they're probably our best red cards. Like, none of our red cards need double red. And you don't have to play Lightning Strike on 2 for it to be good. Of course, you don't have to play this on 2 for it to be good either, but I think we still want... I think 10 green, 8 red is pretty good. Wonder, do we want the Gunner? Are we, like, okay on nonsense, or do we want the Gunner? Like, do we want to run something cheaper? Or the Jaguar? Probably not. I think this is probably... This is fine. Okay, well, I think it's keepable, mostly because I can cycle this away, and I have plenty of green cards I can play, so... Wonder whether I'm supposed to run out Web Strike Elite on 2 when I can. Obviously, it's going to be better with the Rex's cycling ability. One thing our deck doesn't have is a way to get back our powerful cyclers, which kind of stinks, I guess. I think since we have another 2-drop, and this still dies to Lightning Strike, it's probably fine to run out the Lagak. And then next turn I can attack with it and leave this up, or play Surveyor and get speed going. So let's just play the Lagak here. Okay, I think just getting speed going is what we do here. Hey, look, we're keeping track of our speed. We didn't do that at all in our last deck. Well, we got all our green mana. That's what I was worried about. And it's not much of a surprise to not have Gallant Strike's white mana, but not having any red is a bit of a bummer. So I need 5 mana if I'm going to blow up Air Response Unit. Ooh, look at that. So they're going to get their speed going. We're definitely in a speed race here. Maybe I need to play Web Strike Elite. Because it can block Air Response Unit, if nothing else. Yeah, let's play it out. Them getting to max speed is a way bigger deal than us getting to max speed, because this will start drawing them cards. So us getting to max speed just means that when our surveyors die, we can draw cards with them, which is not exactly amazing. They can just attack with their Spike Spitter here if they want to get to speed 3. They don't have to accrue the Air Response Unit. So it's kind of interesting if they do, like what that would mean. I mean, I think I still block, because keeping them from getting max speed for a turn... Well, I don't block that. I would have blocked Air Response Unit, though. Okay, well, we are going to have white mana. Unfortunately, oh, it's toughness 4 or greater, so we'll be able to kill that next turn before it starts drawing them cards. Good. Good, good, good. Well, let's go to combat. Swing with everything. See what they do about it. Agonasaur Rex. Do I want to use Agonasaur Rex here? Also, 1 mana away from being able to play it as an 8/8 Trampler, which is certainly a thing. If I play the Rex here, it's going to feel pretty good, except if they have another removal spell. I mean, it still ends up being like a 2-for-1 more or less. Yeah, I mean, I think we're supposed to do it. So that's 10 damage, and we get to max speed. Like I said, though, it doesn't exactly matter this turn. But we do have them in a pretty vulnerable spot overall. I mean, I might do Chandelar someday. It is interesting. I played it a little bit, like, forever ago. But I haven't... It's probably been 20 years. So yeah. Oh man. They used their Gallant Strike. We're going to use ours to kill their Spike Spitter before it becomes a more serious problem for us. Ooh, red mana. Hello there, red mana. Alright, so we're going to Gallant Strike that. They're going to crew their air response unit in response, obviously enough. Then... I think we play Loxodon Surveyor here, yeah. And then crew the Lagak. Yeah, I played Chandelar, like, when I first heard about it when I was, like, 15. So, that's how old it is. So, they don't have to block both of these, but they do have to block one of them. Probably the Surveyor, I would guess. So, they go to 2. The Ironclad's looking pretty good when our opponent is this low on life. Yeah, that's annoying. Getting to scry. So this can attack us and untap, but this will be tapped. So I don't think they attack us. Hey, look, there's our End Rider Spike Spitter. So let's play our Dynamite Diver. Ooh, that was dumb. Because I've only got 1 red mana. They do have to block both of these, so it's not like a complete disaster, but with only 1 red mana, I probably should have played that differently. Did they forget to crew? Is it too late to crew? Ooh, there's a modified version where you can play Astral Slide. Sign me up. So yeah, one of these has to block, and my Lagak isn't even going to die, and the other one dies. So let's draw a card with one of these, because if we draw a mountain, that'd be cool. Or anything else we can play, for that matter. Well, we can't quite play that. If I only had 1 red mana, it would have been way better to play the Spike Spitter, and I did. Because I still would have been able to crew. I was just thinking I could play more than one thing that turn, and I could not. I could not do it. Sort of interesting. I almost think attacking there made more sense for them. But I guess they really don't want to go... Well, they're going to go to 1 either way. So... Yeah, someone earlier said they remind them of the ninjutsu ability. And they're going to go to 1. I think it's better here to play the Mammoth, just because we get the 2 bodies and everything. Like, we're going to have 3 attackers who are all very much lethal. Oh yeah, my camera does go over the speed tracker. That is a good point. There's like nowhere good for it now. Speed would have mattered in that game if I'd played the correct card, but I guess we won without it. So we did draw 1 card because of max speed, but ooh, playing against Paul Cheon, that's always scary. I misplayed against him last time we played against each other when he had the 3 mana 5/5 flyer that manifests in play, and he was about to mill himself out, and I just scooped. This hand's not awesome, mostly because we don't have any early drops. I may have to cycle the Ketrodon. But we have some strong cards in our hand, that's for sure. Not having anything to do with Burner Rocket isn't exactly where I want to be, I don't think. There's a pothole, but yeah, I mean, I think we probably end up cycling Ketrodon in this particular game. See if he cycles here. Does not cycle. Well, yeah. We will. Because we need things to do pretty badly. Play Pothole Mole. Ugh. We didn't even get a land out of that. That's brutal. And we milled our Rex and we don't have a way to get it back. But, you know, it's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, Nimblethopterist is real good. Real good. Definitely the kind of card that makes Lightning Strike look bad. I think we attack here. Like, if they block with Voyager, Quick Welder, I can Burner Rocket. And I can Burner Rocket either way. Yeah. Not hitting a forest off that mole was pretty brutal. Because then we'd be good on Mammoth. I'm trying to decide... I guess Burner Rocket... I guess we're just going to pass the turn. We just don't have anything worth doing, really. I can flash in Burner Rocket at the end of their turn either way, which is probably what I'll do. Free Scrap Compactor is kind of nasty. So, yeah, I mean, I think this is where we block here. So they can use the compactor so they don't get blown out here. But they do have to use a bunch of mana to do it, so... So it's not exactly amazing. Of course, neither is using Burner Rocket defensively, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, you know? But yeah, if you saw the early access last time where he had the, you know, that 5/5 eyeball for 3 mana that manifests or disguises every turn, that was pretty brutal when I scooped when I should have won the game. Well, he decided he wanted to save his mana, which, if you're transit maging into something sweet, makes a lot of sense. Yeah, Broadcast Rambler is pretty sweet. Do I want to Lightning Strike anything? I kind of think I'm going to kill the Thopterist here. I'm just not going to have a good target for Lightning Strike, and we have a bunch of them, so I'm just gonna do it here. Ooh, we did draw double green now, which I'm thankful for. I could send in Burner Rocket, but I think just having Thunderhead Gunner untapped is pretty good. We're even going to discard a card right away. He might have Counter Magic up, which is not what I'd like to see, but... He does like Counter Magic. We played that counterspell earlier and it never did anything. All right, we'll discard that. But we had some bad luck, I think. I don't think that card's actually as bad as it felt in that particular situation. Okay, well, that's fine. We can play our Mammoth next turn. Yeah, this thing has crew 1. And it's still going to be able to attack us pretty well next turn, probably. So they can... Oh, they're 1 mana shy. He's 1 mana shy of killing our mammoth. Did they decide not to attack at all in the end? So it would seem. Why are some of my forests not the good ones? Let's play our gunner. See what happens there. There's the counter magic I knew that he would have. Okay. Then, your saddle 5, huh? Yeah, that's pretty easy for us to do. The question is whether he's got a bounce spell. If he does, the tempo is going to be painful. But there's only 1 instant speed bounce spell, and he already cast 1 copy of it. So, I say... Well, we are at least going to get our elephant. So there's that. Yeah, they'll block with their Rambler, but I feel fine about that exchange. Assuming their Rambler dies. If their Rambler doesn't die, I feel less okay about it. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, they can kill my elephant, but that's also not a... disaster. Do need to draw some more action at some point, but blue is so open in our draft, and a lot of these really good cards were available. Yeah, we just had to pass now. What we could really use is our 3/3 reach. It's interesting he didn't play that first, because I need to have 2 speed now. Not much of a believer in this card, but, you know, we've seen a couple of pretty dirtily decks. I mean, I think in both cases we had some flooding, but that's going to happen. And if it happens enough, a card like Scoreboard's going to be a lot better. Yeah, we don't have any speed right now, unfortunately for us. But a reach creature is pretty good right now. So... I think we'll send in our burner rocket and see what happens to it. Yeah, that's fine. Problem with the Scoreboard is, like, its ability, max speed ability, isn't even that good by the time you get it. Ooh, God. Such a good signpost uncommon. So they search up something super powerful? Probably. Oh, that's a pretty... that's some flavor right there. Now we really need to draw one of our big cycling destroy a creature things. We do have 2 copies, so surely they're somewhere. Maybe. How brutal is it that we played the mole earlier and hit no lands, and now all we can draw are lands? It's not exactly the combo you're looking for. Okay. Definitely blocking that. I'm going to try to block this, but I got to imagine he's got a trick of some kind. And I'll chump block that. Our life's too low to take, like, a big hit. So drawing Inrian, the Spike Spitter again, doesn't really do anything for us, but is there any card in our deck that does something for us? I don't think so. I guess our Cycler... Boom Scholar. Yeah, it doesn't really help. It's funny, I think this deck has, like, higher average card quality, all the lightning strikes and stuff, which... Where are the other two? But the other one had way more synergy, and I think was probably... It seemed like a better deck. Ooh, another one. We are pretty much dead. We can kill a Pathmaker at least, but... Yeah, get something that can crew the Pathmaker and attack with everything. I think he actually said oops because he made a mistake. Like, he made one attack there that didn't make any sense and his creature died. I don't think it was an oops, like he was saying I was an idiot. That's not really Paul Cheon's MO, if you don't know. Gallant Strike is completely useless. And so is Loxodon Surveyor. Oh yeah, the Pyroclasm looked real good in this game. That's for sure. It would have looked good. We had it decimate us in our last draft. Now it hurts even more that I gave him a free game last time. The artifact deck does look pretty good, unsurprisingly. I mean, I liked the signpost uncommon, especially the vehicle one. I don't like the card draw one as much, but obviously in that game it would have been pretty good. I think this is the third time we played against this person. Probably cycling this on turn one. Booster Rocket's been a little awkward. I mean, I guess it kind of did okay in the last game. But we've had a hard time drawing our low drops. It's always virtually impossible to really even come away with like an early ranking of color pairs just because things are so hard. It's kind of meaningless, I guess, is what I'm saying, because it's so hard to predict something that specific. I don't know why I would play Burner Rocket in this situation. I mean, it does give me something on board, but it might just be better to cycle Gallant Strike in this particular game. Yeah, I think we'll cycle Gallant Strike. So, There's 2 lightning strikes. I think we play out the Surveyor and see what happens. Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to really know what has the... I mean, you can definitely, you know, look at the grades I gave cards and come away with an idea of what has the best card quality, like you're saying. But if you're just wrong about 2 cards, it drastically changes things, you know what I mean? So, what do I want to do here? I could certainly lightning strike the blockbuster. I wish I had more red mana, for sure. So I could lightning strike the blockbuster and attack them. I kind of like that plan, mostly because... the only problem with that is if they play like anything, they're going to get a treasure, and I don't like that very much. So maybe we're not supposed to attack. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to. That'll be a much better thing to lightning strike. We've only got 1 black mana. Oh, except they also get another mana. So they could have the indestructible trick. Or a lightning strike, that works too, yeah. Well, that's not good. I don't think we cycle our Ketrodon just yet. Like, we have the means in our hand to get to that stage of the game. So, because there's an indestructible trick, I think we just have to lightning strike this now. Can't really count on them using the exhaust ability and then me blowing it up or whatever. Ooh, that card is cool. Hopefully we draw a way to destroy it before they really go crazy. I mean, they don't have to go that crazy. They're already... just recasting one of these from the graveyard is pretty gross. I do think we play Burner Rocket here, just to have something on board for an emergency. But I don't love how things look right now. Okay, so we are going to play our big old Ketrodon. We need to find some other big creatures. Our cycling artifact removal would be great. That'd be great if it would show up now. We had it in our other games where it wasn't that useful, but it would have been useful in our last one and in this one. Crash and Burn does not only... oh, yeah. You mean it doesn't kill regular artifacts. Yes, that's true. I was going to say, if it only destroyed vehicles, that'd be real bad. I don't know. If I were them, I would just be casting things Embalm style from the graveyard right now. I don't think I'd be doing anything else. Looks like they have the mana to do both, so that's probably the plan. So they could blow up our Burner Rocket, I guess, if they really want to. Doesn't upset me a whole lot if that's the game plan, though. It is basically free when they have Curse Cloth wrappings in play, and they can get in for 2. Okay. Well, yeah, you technically don't cast it, you embalm it. That much is true. Well, luckily we can kill that before it gets a trigger going. Although, I'm trying to think here. Yeah, no, the trigger would allow them to... Yeah, we'll wait for them to saddle it first. They can recast it is the bad news, unless we're lucky enough to draw our 2-mana 3/3 guy who can cycle and destroy things. We deserve to draw him, don't we? We've cycled twice, even. Okay. Thanks, deck. Thanks for your help. So they're going to recast it and be able to do the same obnoxious thing that they just did, unfortunately. Well... They actually do need another land or mana of some kind to do it, but they'll probably draw it, yeah. Our opponents draw lands when they need to. We don't seem to do the same, unfortunately. Ooh, did they? Yeah, I mean, I guess we blocked this. And that's a good draw. When you really need a few bodies. More of that would be good. I liked Bloomburrow, and I liked Foundations reasonably. Yeah, it'd be nice if the Mammoth would rescue us, but we do still have to put up with all of the embalm nonsense. God. It seems like in both of these drafts so far, we've drawn so many lands. Should I just be running 16 in every deck, even when I have a bunch of 6-drops? If this format is as slow as it's looked, Curse Cloth Wrappings is way better than I thought it would be. Yeah, we're blocking that. They can recast it, but I think making them do it is worthwhile. We'll probably draw a land here, so... Oh! Look who finally showed up now that it's not nearly as good. I mean, we still do it. But, yeah. X equals 4. Get that out of there, and hopefully we draw something real. We do. Look at that. Well, we're not completely dead. We just shrunk all those, and they're done embalming. This thing's still a pretty huge problem. The rest of it, not so much, but... Yeah, that is a problem. So they can give it double strike, which means if I block with the Lagak, they just kill it outright, and if I block with the Mammoth, they kill each other. I think I just take 4 or 6, whichever one they decide to do here. Well, I meant 2 or 6. That card did feel better the one time I've played it than I expected. I think that means we're dead, everybody. Yeah, Duskmourn was definitely the best of the last few sets. I would agree with that. Yeah, Grease Wrench Goblin is real nice. I loved Rooms. Yeah, I think we're probably dead. Let's find out. So 6, 8, 10, 13, 16. Do I have to block this to not be dead? And if I do, am I still dead? 3, 5, 7, 10. Yeah, I'm dead no matter. I'm dead no matter what I do. We're lucky we drew that mammoth, otherwise that game would have been a lot shorter, but all the lands we drew around that mammoth weren't so good. Wasn't really where I wanted to be. You know, I played Pioneer Masters. I probably played like 20 drafts. It was. I didn't think it was that great, honestly. It was fine. How many times? Oh, I guess all these Pro Tour players have different Pro Tour names, so I may not have been playing the same Pro Tour player every time. Our deck really feels like it has like no 1-drops or 2-drops in it, the way a lot of these games have gone, and I don't think that's true. Like, we've had a lot of these weird hands where we cycle the first couple of turns and don't do anything. Yeah, that's not good. They're going to get a treasure for nothing, basically, because I can't do anything about it. Probably should have waited to do that just to bluff, but hey. Yeah, so they're going to get a treasure here and have an optimizer in play. So their next turn might be really spicy. So playing Lightning Strike is potentially an okay idea, but I think I'd rather play out a creature. I might counter it. Yeah, that was pretty spicy. Playing that whole drifter. I guess maybe I'm just supposed to attack with Boom Scholar and play Venomous Lagak and leave up Lightning Strike. Yeah. We're pretty close to being able to play, you know, some powerful stuff. Okay. I'm lightning striking something. Not sure what. Might be Hull Drifter if they crew it. That might be better than Gilded Goda. Yeah. Another lightning strike, so we just redo the same thing, I guess. This time I don't think we attack. We just don't have a good situation for that. Seems like I either draw 10 lands. Oh, God. Seems like I either draw 10 lands or 4 lands. It hasn't been a great day so far. So they're gonna kill Venomous Lagak with that trigger. Yeah, I'm not really sure how I win this one at this point. Lightning Strike doesn't really do me any good here. We take 8. It's tempting to cycle Gallant Strike, but the awkward thing about it is it's like one of the few ways we have to kill something that big, but I also don't have any white mana, so... Well, I guess we're going to play Thunderhead Gunner and hope it can protect me, but I don't have super high hopes on that front. Magmakin Artillerist is not going to be especially good here, so I think I'm going to throw it away. There's white mana. So if they can get rid of the gunner somehow, the game is pretty much over. Yep, that'll do it. It is funny, like I said, I think our deck had, you know, what our last deck really needed, this deck didn't have, which is, what our last deck had, this deck didn't have. Our last deck had, like, all the synergy you want, and this one had, like, all the lightning strikes and things like that.